Just start with an injury update for your squad, and is there any update on Dyson at all?
No, Dyson's still out. We just have to see over the remainder of the weeks left to see if he plays any part, but certainly won't be tomorrow. Liam Scales back available in the squad, which is really good news for us. And apart from that, we're pretty much the same.
How are you feeling ahead of this semi-final?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Had to wait a long time to get back to Hampden this time, so yeah. The Scottish Cup is a competition that's it's very rich in its history, of course, and especially for a club like Celtic, having won it 41 times, the memories created in this competition over the years are iconic for the club. So for us to be able to take that step with another opportunity to win it, I'm really looking forward to that.
I spoke to you after the game last weekend. You beat St Mirren. You said this is the time when Celtic comes alive. Semi-finals, hopefully finals. 5 games to go. You sensed that in the atmosphere the boys were training over the past week.
Yeah. No, our training rehearsals have been great this week. I just think everyone's on the same page. We've got players back available. The quality in the training, the speed in the training has been absolutely superb, and it's this time of the season where, like I said, a club like ourselves comes alive with the anticipation and the opportunity to win titles. So that's something that I found here my first time, and I feel it here again this time.
Obviously, you've got a few players who will be playing at Hampden for the first time as well. Does that help their almost adapting to the pressure playing for Celtic to realise what it's about? Do you remember your first time at Hampden with Celtic? Was it kind of a special occasion?
It very much was, yeah. It's when you come to a club like this here, there's an expectation to win. I know now the feeling is much greater now. When I was first here, I felt leading into that first League Cup semi-final, there was a wee bit of trepidation around playing at Hampden. But as I said at that time, it's if you're going to become winners, then we got to start enjoying it, and you enjoy it by playing well and winning. So that's always been my focus going into these games, looking to perform. Of course, there's big anticipation around them, there's big pressure, but go and embrace that and look to perform. And in the main, any time I've went there, I've always felt the team has really performed to a really high level, on a technical level and a tactical level. So same message. We go there. We respect Aberdeen. It's not been a great season for them in terms of league and changes of manager, but any semi-final is always a tough game. But we're ready for it.
It make them look maybe even more dangerous, the fact that their league season has been a disappointment. This is a chance for them to kind of salvage something from a season which obviously they've done well in the other cup in Europe as well. But does that make them more dangerous that the league campaign has kind of fizzled out?
Yeah, well, it's certainly one that we have to expect. A tough game, and any team that gets to the semi-final is there with an opportunity to get to a final. So I envisage Peter and his team will look to take the opportunity. For us, really, it's our focus is on ourselves, looking at our own performance, and I'm very much have that focus in on that. Nothing else really other than preparing for this game. And as I said, our training this week, the intensity and the whole mentality and feel has been really good. So now we've got to take that into the game tomorrow.
Can it be a different opponent, Brendan, when you know there's a new manager waiting to come in? He's probably watching these guys from now till the end of the season.
No, I don't see that. I think the new manager will come in and then be able to put his stamp on it then. There's no doubt he will be looking at the game to see how the players cope with pressure and dealing, because Aberdeen's a big club, so they want to be in these moments. Like as I said, we had Aberdeen in the League Cup and the Scottish Cup finals. Really good games. Second one in particular, a tight game. But so he will look. I don't think it'll have any bearing on this game. Peter will have his team organised and looking to cause an upset.
In terms of the league, you've always said, listen, 7 games to go, 8 games to go, a lot can happen. How do you view it now?
Well, we don't play in the league for over a week or so. So it's not my focus. I think my messaging has always been the same. You know, it's not how you start the marathon; it's how you finish it. And for us, we're improving day by day, looking good on the field, with still lots of improvements to make, and performances in the main been good. So yeah, but still long way to go in terms of the league. 5 games is 15 points is a lot of points to play for. But our focus now is just very much on getting to the final.
How much importance do you place on momentum and team peaking at the right time at this time of the season?
Well, clearly it helps. It helps. As I said, we've had a sort of an inconsistent period, and especially in the first 6 months or so. But naturally, and I can see the reasons why that would be, but I've always maintained that once we had key influential players for us, that the back playing and the football will smile much more. So yeah, and that's how it's been. We've been good in the games. I think I still strive for more consistency in the team, and that's something that I spoke to the players on in the week. Really good performance at Fields. Maybe had felt for some like a run-of-the-mill 3-0 victory at home, but St Mirren have proved to be really difficult opponents, and super organised with Stephen and his staff. So that game there, to come out of that, it was a really impressive scoreline, and the players did really well, and but kept that calmness, which is important, but also looking to play how we wanted to play. So yeah, so it is very pleasing. Momentum is important, and we want to keep that going.
And dealing with pressure, how important is that at this stage of the season?
Well, it's everything. I think self-control is what you need in this environment of high stakes, high pressure, and it's needed none more so than when you're under pressure, and that's when your poise and experiences come into it. So yeah, so dealing with pressure, and you need to be able to do that at a club of this size.
There's still work to be done, but you're in a strong position. I think you would concede that. Have you had any doubts up until this point, when there were those wobbles or those difficult moments? You've always been quite consistent with us that things would come good.
Yeah, but listen, we haven't won anything yet. We're in a semi-final, which is great. We're improving and getting better, and performance level is showing that. Like I said, I demand more from the team, and we'll push right to the very last whistle of this season. But no, for me, it's a part of a league campaign. You will not play 38 league games or cup games at the very, very highest level. You're going to have those dips, and you're going to have those waves. But it's really about how your strength is really how you shift that. That's the real strength in it. When those moments, whenever it isn't going quite well, can you shift and get the team back on track? And the players have been absolutely brilliant. They've had to dig in lots of moments this season and gain the results. But we just chipped away, stayed focused on our game model and how we play. And as I said, whenever important, influential players come back in, then all the pieces come together again, and the fluidity of the team is much better. So yeah, you can never have doubt, and I think, as I said, the more we've worked together, the more we've been together, everyone now on the pitch, off the pitch, it all feels that everyone's on the same page.
You're an FA Cup winning manager. I just wonder what you've made of the changes that are planned for the competition. It's generated a lot of debate down in England.
Yeah, I can see it from both sides. It's always an opportunity for this smaller team to earn more revenue and bring a bigger team back to their stadium. I think the teams that are playing lots of games would prefer it to be finished in one game, because if you're in European fixtures and then your players are in international games, then it's a lot of football. So there's a narrative for both. But like I say, I think there's clearly a protection there of the players playing too many games, and that always has to be at the centre of any decision.
Guys, take you back to your Hampden history. You touched on it now, but when you first arrived, there was a wee bit of talk about Hampden hoodoos and stuff like that. I think cup ties have been around the previous seasons. You've not lost here at Hampden since, you personally.
Yeah, well, it's nice to know that, Michael, and hopefully that continues. I just sensed a wee bit of trepidation around it when I first came in, with the players and even staff outside it and everything that had happened for the team there. But I think as long as you can control what you can and go into it with that confidence in your preparation and not overthink it, just play your game. And we know that when we can do that, then that football will bring success for us. And that was it really from that first semi-final that we played. We played really well. And then we went into the League Cup game and we were absolutely outstanding in that game. So that gave the players a good feeling. And then we were to go back there later on in the season, have a couple more where again played well, and obviously then the final game of that season was a historical game. So then after that first season we started to enjoy it, and most importantly the supporters then went and had that expectation of winning. And that's what success should look like, that expectation, going and playing and look forward to it and see where it takes you.
So has it become a place that you personally kind of taken into heart and enjoy?
Yeah. I've loved all the games there. The semi-finals have been great atmospheres. The finals, there's that edge on it to get your hands on a trophy. So to win that first League Cup was so special, that first season, to then now come into the Scottish Cup. That was, again, I've got so many memories of that growing up as a child and knowing obviously what it means to this club, and always with that ambition to add to the trophy haul for the club. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I say it jokingly, but I'm also serious. I have missed it this year. I haven't had the chance to go. I've went only a couple of times. I went to see Scotland and playing, and now it's the chance to be on the sideline, which is what I want.
Had you been to Hampden at all before that first semi-final? Just seen it on TV? Yeah, just seen it on telly. I had never been.
You mentioned that historic moment at the end of that season, and then I heard Scott Brown saying this week that was his favourite moment of all the trophies he won at Celtic, that Tom Rodgers goal. Yeah. Where does that rank for you in terms of your overall career? Does it show the players as well that this is a place for historic? It is,
it's such a special place, Hampden, and we never forget that. And the scenes after, it was obviously a nerve-wracking final. We'd obviously not got off to a great start, and then we came back into the game. The game ebbed and flowed, but as it went on, that final half hour, it looked like we were the ones that were going to score, and kept pushing, and obviously Derek's team kept fighting and held us out, and then Tom's moment of magic won the game, and all the scenes with Craig on his knees, and it was just such an incredible feeling out there. And I've loved the times at Hampden playing in those games.
It's funny because as a stadium, sometimes it gets a bit of a bad reputation, in terms of atmosphere and whatnot, but in days like that, when it's full, it can be quite something as well.
It is. There's no doubt obviously the game and the occasion will create the atmosphere. So every time I've been there, I've loved the atmosphere there. There's never been a time, whether it was the Rangers games or the Aberdeen or Motherwell, every time I've been there, it has always felt a great occasion. Now, you may say that when you win, of course, and that does help, but I've always felt the 50-50 support, or for us obviously with Motherwell it was a bit more, but they've always been great occasions, and they're occasions to enjoy.
I know you can't influence events elsewhere, but can events elsewhere and results elsewhere have an impact on the general mood in your squad, especially like this week? Have you noticed a change this week at all, what's happening elsewhere?
Not really, Michael. No, I think it's our focus has always been on ourselves, and I made that point to the players is irrespective of what happens or what other results, you know, the way it goes for other teams. You know, we can only do our work, because you can't soften up, especially at this time, just because another team might have drawn or lost or whatever, because that's irrelevant. You have to perform and get the result, because, you know, if you come off it against teams that are motivated and organised, then they can give you a problem. So for us, we have to continually focus on our own performance, irrespective of what happens elsewhere, because, as I said, we have to create our story, and for that we have to work at it, and that hopefully will be the storyline come the end of the season.
I've seen the players out and about this week, Brendan, just kind of enjoy their right down time. Is that something we've consciously kind of told them to do, is enjoy a wee bit of time away from all the pressure, and just does that help them handle it a wee bit better?
I think it does. It's a great city up here, and it's great living. So, but no, I haven't actively encouraged it. I think it's, you know, I trust the players. They're a fantastic group of professionals who it is important that you do have that social side as well at the right time. So, but not something that I've said to them to get out and about.